Okay, I should be live. Still waiting a little moment because internet connection is often wonky here. Meanwhile, I can start up, well, pretty much everything. Where's my pen base? And the ID for this comic has been made up about 8 minutes ago. Which is my number? It's the number 826. We already have 3 people watching. Odd. There we are. Let's check the song for a moment. Yes. And that should be the text. So let's go sketchy sketch. Let's put my cell phone to the other side. This ID was halfway suggested by a family member, but it took a while before I had the joke, or the comic. But I kind of had been thinking ever since yesterday for a comic, and I had no ID, so I asked for IDs. I got a lot of IDs, and I picked one. I was like, I have to be able to do something with that I haven't done that before. Weird pose. I need a bigger brush. Even though I really hate these little wings. Okay, I've never drawn a rowboat before, but this kind of works. So I need to make it a bit this more. No, you're not first. I'm first. Haha. Good evening, everyone. And let's see, weekly news. I test printed the images for book 6. They look fine at first glance, but I need to look good at them, and I have to show them to others so they can check. Haven't been able to start editing just yet, despite me really wanting it to, because it's still insanely busy at work. And I know that's mean like, yeah, but it's busy at work and you're not editing at work. Yeah, but I'm super tired when I get home, etc., etc. So I hope to find the space and time very soon. I actually want to start editing this week. So here's crossing fingers, here's hoping. And what else? Let's see. First day was the last big things were gone. At least most of the last big things. I think there are a few big things, but we can get them out with our largest car. Otherwise, we can rent a car. And let's see what else. I had a family arrangement I couldn't pass out on. Well, at least I had to attend. I had my student coming, so I actually didn't manage to paint that much this week. First day, I don't think there's going to be another stream. It's still clean up in the studio, and I think I need, when I get home and I have to set up everything, I'm not gonna do that. So Saturday is clean up studio. And Sunday is probably going to be relax, calm down, have a break, and probably streaming. But it's still not 100% because I can't look into the future. So hopefully I can start editing book 6 this week. Let's see, that's how you hold a phone. So that means I don't have any book art left to do, so I brought my sketches for the 3D printing project along, which I can start tracing. Okay, let's draw a teeny tiny little rowboat. And I have to mute for a moment. One moment. And we're back. Was nothing very important, but important enough to mute it. And I need to get this flickering blinky light off. And line art. And you can see I'm enjoying drawing this comic because it just goes very swiftly. And again, for those who joined later or didn't really listen, Penny is going to wear those little orange wings kids get, so they supposedly can't drown. I'm against them because of several reasons, but for comic sakes I use them. I also got an email from the AnimeCon that they will start their lottery, I believe in 2 weeks. So here's crossing your fingers. And I already told the organization, if I'm not selected, just put me on the waiting list. Nah, no mouth. I don't like the mouth. Nah, no mouth. Yeah, I thought Ring Ring was a bit too boring, so I did Ringtone Ringtone. Also because it fits the silliness of the penny. But yeah, here's hoping I get into the AnimeCon. If I don't get into the AnimeCon, then I'll just have a weekend off to calm down and whatever. So it's not a complete waste of a weekend. It also means less con fees. So that's a financial okay. It also means less con earnings, and that's a bit, yeah. But you never know. You never know. There's always people who call out at the last moment, and since I already have the weekend off, I can just go if they need me last minute. And yeah, there is a possibility to get a ringtone, but to install the ringtone, it depends on the phone, because my phone does not allow custom ringtones. Unless you hack the phone, and I'm not doing that. That's a bit weird, Pinky. So those little wing floaties are just for comedic relief. I do wonder what Penny's ringtone would be. I mean, our town doesn't really have a town song. Let's see. That is true. It would need more time for the museum workshops I have to give. That's a wrong perspective line. Back of the hair, of course. Almost forgot that. Yeah, my first run of workshops in the museum will start next week. If I recall well, 5 workshops, and 3 of them must be in English. So hence this is practice time for me. Technically, Penny should wear a life jacket and not those wings. while I do like the hand, it's actually not placed right. It should be here. And of course, Monday I posted my 3D print file for Blade. And while I didn't get much attention on Instagram or Facebook, I did get a lot of attention on DeviantArt. Someone even started mass faving my gallery. So I had overnight about 150 messages. And that sounds like someone faved my entire gallery, but I have about 2,000 pieces in there, so about, well, let's say 10% of my gallery has been faved. And they started following me, by the way, so. Also got a follow-up from an art collector, a very famous art collector who contacted me through Facebook. And he wanted to buy my art. I mean, red flags all around. An art collector who wants to buy my art contacts me through Facebook. And immediately starts throwing with money. So I was like, I want to offer $500 for every piece you own. And I want you to send it. And I'm like, nah, we don't ship overseas, too expensive. Oh, I'll pay for shipping, $1,400. I'm like, you almost tripled your offer. Just like in 3 messages. So I like, well, I still don't ship overseas. I have a Redbubble account if you want to. For international art. Or you can get a contact in the Netherlands and he will buy the or they, because women is also possible, but they will buy my art cash or with a debit card. Actually, I'm not that much fan of mass likers, because they like about every piece in your gallery and they don't leave comments, and the comments are way more valuable to me than a like. A like is like bloop, done. It's more like I saw it. That's why I only fave and like the things I really like. But yeah, if that person is such a famous art collector as they claim, they would not be contacting me through Facebook, and they would probably not even contact me by themselves. They would probably have an assistant contact me. Now to think of it, those museums are financially way more interesting than a convention to me. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. I'm still very honored to be asked back by that museum. I think this is the... Well, you had, of course, Corona in between, so didn't get any offers then. But I think it's the third or fourth time they asked me for multiple workshops. And good evening to you. Welcome. Wait, forgot the wing. Almost done with the comic, which means more time for the 3D printing project. I mean, I only have one image done for next year. Let's see, this is the hand, this is the arm, and this is the wing. This is the wing and the arm goes down. There's probably going to be a lot of hand painting in here. This, by the way, is also very dangerous because Penny is drifting on the leg and there's a nice, well, current. That was the word I was looking for. There's a nice current over there. Big boats and all. Let's first go pick the right layer. Haha. Now I have to make Penny's hair a bit darker because those wings are also orange. See, that's going to be hand colored. Bit more darker. There's lots of hand coloring in this comic, by the way. The blue. Ah, this is for easier placement. And now the very bright orange, but also light. So at least you can differentiate now. Okay, and this little boat is going to be reddish. And that's in honor of a boat my parents used to have. It was pretty much the same red. Probably was a lot brighter red when they first got it. And I did enjoy that boat. And everything else needs to be hand colored. So yeah, I have fond memories of a rowboat. Yes, those little floating bands are called floaters, I believe. But yeah, and like I said, I'm actually opposed to those things. I don't consider them safe whatsoever because they give a false sense of security to both parents and children. Children depend on them, learn to depend on them, and also if they're not tight enough and they slip off the upper arms and they end up at the wrists, you have the body of the child on the water and the floaters are nicely floating on top. So yeah, I'm not really pro floaters. But I do agree it's better than nothing. Probably gonna have to do some hand coloring to where the floaters are supposed to be. But that's just me, the swim teacher, who has an opinion. And ironically, I'm doing this comic today because I actually wanted to do a comic, but I couldn't find one that wasn't preachy or complainy about how important it is to reintroduce swimming during school lessons. And that's mostly because parents don't have the time, don't take the time, or it's not within their culture because I didn't do it, so why should you do it? And let's see, there's sometimes also there's no money for it. And of course, there are the parents who are like, well, you have your diploma, so we never have to swim again. It's like riding a bike, you never lose it. So I also have opinion about that. Ooh, that's not. And I also keep on saying the people who are at the highest risk of having an accident are, besides the ones who cannot swim, also the ones who can swim and can swim very well because no one pays attention to them anymore. That is true. In the Sahara there's less water to swim. So it would be very ironic if you would drown in the Sahara, but it's not impossible, of course. I mean, they have rain showers once in a while. So perhaps you have an accident with that. Let your imagination run wild. How can you drown in the Sahara? Also, I believe that people call it the Sahara Desert, but Sahara means desert if I'm right. Do correct me if I'm wrong. So that would mean you are calling it the desert. Well, it is a very big desert. Yeah, there's also this story. It was in the news, I think about a decade ago, that there was one tree in the entire desert and someone managed to hit it. And that was such a waste of that tree. The tree didn't survive, by the way. One tree in the desert and someone managed to hit it. I believe they panicked when they were heading to the tree and I believe they just froze. Yeah, that tree in my novel was not inspired by that story. In my novel, the story in my novel was written before the accident in the desert. Would have been hilarious, by the way, if I could say that Sushi grew that tree in the desert. And let's see, we have this one to color, and the petals are going to be brown. I'm getting all nostalgic because of this this rowboat. Getting lots of memories of back then with my grandparents and their little, well, let's call it a cottage near the water. And of course, my grandparents always had cornetto ice cream in their fridge. So if it was, do you want an ice cream? It was always cornetto. Ironic, considering I'm allergic to milk or at least lactose intolerant right now. Maybe I was already back then. But knowing my grandparents, if they had known back then, they would have looked for milk-free ice cream. So probably ice, water ice. Oh. Now I'm thinking of my other grandparents. They has a, let's call it a cottage in the woods. And my grandmother making a milkshake. Not with frozen milk, by the way. It was just a foamy milk. But she did the best she could. And there was one moment when I was sleeping over there, where there was a mosquito landing on my hand. And I was like a kid. So I was screaming, afraid. And because I was so scared, my hand tensed up. And the mosquito couldn't run anymore or fly away anymore. So she, because it was sucking blood, met her untimely demise by the hand of my grandmother. So I can say my grandmother hit a mosquito, killed it for me. There we go. Okay, background sky will be done separately. So let's first. I always, when I do the sky and then do the shadings, it just doesn't look right, and now I have to be careful not to hit the water. And at my grandparents with the cottage, there in the forest, there was a huge playground. And by today's standards, there was a carousel. You had to push by yourself, by the way, and there were jigsaws. No, not jigsaws. Seesaws. Bip papa. And that was also a lot of fun. And then they removed it. Not sure why, probably inspection related. And there was a little deer encampment, so there were deers over there. And there were always raspberries. We would pluck the raspberries. And that's where I get my fondness for plucking raspberries in the wild. However, I was taught quite early, never get the raspberries from the bottom. And if you don't remember, I made a penny comic about it. They get special water. That's not working. This gets a different layer. We had very nice weather yesterday and Sunday. I could even open the window for ventilation and get some fresh air inside. But unfortunately, it's been very dreary and rainy today. Okay, I think This is the comic. Now the text. Make it a bit playful. And I'm noticing a little typo. It's not very good at auto selection today, but I can easily work around with that. Also reading Calvin and Hobbes comics lately. Has been a while since I read those. Yes, yes. Okay, text check time. I got 1 off screen, 2 in screen. So I'm getting there. I get complaints. It's not SS, but it's RB. SS means steamship. RB means rowing boat. Even in Dutch, by the way. SS staat voor stoomboot. But this little rowboat wants to be a steamship. So I did it on purpose, by the way. For funsies. It's called ambition. Right, I really like that. Where is my... First of all, let's save this. Save. Usually I have my folder on my right and I have it on my left today. It reminds me of someone requested some files. Hopefully I remember it. Okay, so the text now. By the way, this stream will be posted on YouTube somewhere September probably, and it's posted on Thursday, and then I will post the speech stream on Tuesday, because apparently people prefer the speech stream over the slow stream. So I'm just doing them both. It takes a bit more time to prepare. And if something goes wrong with the audio and I don't have a slow stream, then I'll just pick one from the past and create that into a speech stream, because I still have all those videos. That's a bit too big. If this is right. Yes. It's the 5th. I need the next line. It's freeware. I shouldn't complain about pop-ups. There, a bit bigger. There's this rainbow bar underneath my Twitch screen, and it's about TwitchCon tickets, and it's very annoying because it's so bright and yellow and in the corner of my eyes. Meanwhile, while you guys text check. Let me check if grondig en nauwkeurig are the same. Yeah, it's the same. I think this is better. So I'm waiting a little bit longer. And then I'm going to send it to the editor. Okay. And then I'm going to start up my 3D printing project to see the list, which one I need to do first. It's quite weird. Here at my art station I work with 3 monitors. And I have screens left, right, everything open, and chat screens. And when I work, one screen is enough. Otherwise I get overloaded. It's weird, isn't it? Copy. This copy. And then the file. Okay, so that's done. Good, means I can close a few screens. Like this one and this one. Yeah, sure, you don't have to import from the clipboard. And 3D print projects. Let's get my list. And let's see. Is this one on the list? I still have a few empty spots for year 2, so I'm picking this page, which is technically the second page. There we go. Let's take a picture of it. There we go. Great. The paper is too light. There we go. This is a very weird picture mode. Let's restart the camera. That's better. And these two are going to be freebies. So you'll see them soon enough, and therefore next year. But I don't know which will be done first, second, and maybe they'll even be moved to the year after, because I also have a few free spots for there. That means we need Clip Studio Paint because that one was lattice. You still have about 10 seconds before I will show the release. So if you want to place your bets, now is the time. They're freebies, so that means they're fan art. That's not the right one. Gives you more time. And let's see. This one I need. My basic one. And I needed 10 pixels. And there will be plenty of paid items. Don't worry about that. But you have to start somewhere with your list. I really liked how this one turned out. Is there anyone who can guess? Where is my pen? And then and yes, indeed, it's Alien from Witch. She's my favorite character from Witch anyway. Followed by Irma and Helene. I don't need this anymore. And I love the design for her royal outfits. Her coronation gown is my favorite. Followed by the one of the Alien special with the sword, where she and Caleb come together. Not much fan of Caleb, but okay. That's what the creators decided. Of course, I prefer sketches over the line art, but hey. You need smooth lines. Do you want to create this into a standee? And already I dread the braids. You don't see the eyebrows. Okay, that's a weird smile. And I learned from Libra that I need to make that braid quite big. And I didn't include the rings in her hair because they weren't with the coronation gown, I believe. I really loved her hairstyle, by the way, so that's why I didn't really like the new design of Alien in the reboot. And I seem to have 2 more. Well, at least 1 more, so. So after the move of my studio is done, I will probably start 3D printing again. Wait, that's part of her hair. Huh. And I won't make a matching coin because it's a freebie. But of course, if people want to have a matching coin, all they have to do is paint it themselves on an empty coin. So if I look at the schedule, then this year is mostly animals is the 4th paid item mostly. And after that mostly will be characters. Yeah. And of course I will still do the Pokemon. I mean, I haven't even done Charmeleon yet, but I really wasn't in the mood today. I mean, it's March. I still have time to do the Charmeleon. And let's see. And next year it will be Charmeleon, Charizard, Squirtle, and Wartortle. I already have the sketches, so all I need to do is tracing. That's a bit too much. It's going to be very tricky to place this because this is actually too low. You probably have to do over here. You probably have to put the glue on the slips. Unless they are bigger than the coin, then you can just have them hang over. Okay, I think this is all the line art. And then we have to do the eyes, which have to be a lighter color. Is this one not too big? Yeah, it is. So this one needs to be bigger. And now the light one. Is there a possibility for me to just do it like this? Nope. I'm probably just gonna have to do it like this. And this is probably a lot faster. Still does like this. Okay, so I need to put out the reference layer and then just, there we go. That was odd. And then we should fill it. Now what we're going to do is save the PNG and check if it works. I'm not going to show that screen. For speed's sake. There we go. How about I do it as a PNG as well, so I can actually use it. Right, and now I have to remember what I did all those times. Fan art. Alien. Oh. Right, well, I will fix that later on. Put it in the wrong folder. Extrude, grayscale conversion. And I need it white because the B sounds like bottom. Image being processed. Ooh, they changed the site. I don't like that if they change the site. Yep. Eyes are not on a different layer per usual. But other than that, I see no imperfections. Let's turn it around. Huh. Seems like perfect from the start. That's nice. go. How about we download it? Yes, yes. Download. So, yep, ElfQuest is getting an animated promo, not a promo, pilot. So here's hoping it will be enough to have actually more than a promo eventually. I do know that the reason why previous negotiations failed was because the producers wanted Amber to be the calm one because she was a girl, and Sunstream to be the wild one because he was a boy. And of course, no one likes that. To be honest, I'm not much fan of audiobooks in general because I get distracted quite easily. And I love the actors, by the way. It's just they weren't the voices I imaged in my head, so I was complaining about it. But I did listen them all. Didn't even recognize Robert Picardo. Was that his name? The doctor from Star Trek, as Big Nose. Didn't even recognize him. Did recognize Suntoucher by the way, Tim Russ. And Tim Russ is a perfect Suntoucher. So if it does get an animated series, please keep Suntoucher. That's a bit. But I'm always complaining about other people's works because I have some vision in my head and stuff like that. And with some people, I just couldn't keep their voices apart, and that's just my defect. But yeah, I'm always skeptical. So I am going to follow all about it. Very looking forward to the art style. I do hope they will get a style that's more Siege at Blue Mountain. I really love the style in there. Shards was a bit too grungy. Hidden Years was very beautiful, but I think a bit too detailed for an animation. But no objection if they do it like Little Patch. And Return to Sorrow and I believe the English name. I would not object to that. And they will probably only do the first 5 episodes in the pilot. They probably will have to condense it into one as well. So that means we won't be seeing Amber, we won't be seeing Kavi. Kavi. I always called it Kavi, but might be Kavi. So if you do watch, read ElfQuest. What is your favorite character? ElfQuest is, by the way, the reason I started drawing, so I will be forever grateful. Maybe that's why I'm so picky as well. But from the first 5 episodes, the one with Matt Coyle was my favorite. The backstory. Bearclaw, Joyleaf. When I first read ElfQuest, it wasn't readily available, and I could only get it from the library. So I always had to read it out of chronologically. So I already learned to read like that back then, so I can read stories from chapter 1 to chapter 8 and then back and not be confused. I don't really mind if you talk about the Dutch or the English version. I'm okay with everything. But I had the Dutch version at my library. And then when I was old enough to decide myself what to get, I contacted the publisher and asked if it was okay if I bought the entire series at once. And they said, yeah, that's okay, but we don't have everything in stock right now. So I managed to buy most of the collection in one go. That was around, I think I got a test print of Shards, which was episode 40 in the Netherlands. And then I had to get a few in betweens. They said it would be in stock eventually, just not then at that moment. So I bought about 40, and there was also Hidden Years back then. I also have the Dark Horse Collection 1 and 2. If I ever get finances again, I do plan to buy the other ones. But they are actually too heavy for me to read. I need to put them on the table. My hand starts hurting if I read them. Yeah, you can read the comics online as well. I don't really like their comic viewer that much, but hey, choosers, beggars, stuff like that. I have no idea what I was thinking back there. Let's grab Sunset Shimmer back again. Ah, it's a buckle. And you can only see that on the inside. Right. Just unfinished. close this line. Oops, that doesn't work. And with this as well, I won't make a matching coin. I think this is it. Yep, she almost blinked. There we go. And let's see if I can convert it successfully. Convert another. Same, and was this a perfect one as well? Even has the eyes. I think it has to do with how many lines there are close to each other. Let's see. Looks fine. Just the usual gaps in the back, which are always filled by your 3D printer anyway. Okay, looks fine. So, download. Yes. And now we're going to get them out of their storage and import them in Cura to see if they're fine. I think they are. Extract here. Okay. And extract here. You guys can go. And then we open Cura. It's probably already an outdated version, but that's okay. I see those heels. Those heels are actually completely filled, which is not that bad. Belt buckle was an issue. Or actually the shoe belt buckle. But that's okay. I really like how the drawings turned out. Okay, so we're first going to check Alien. Looking fine. Let's check the back. The coin should be about this size. So probably the flaps of our dress will overlap slightly, but or not. That's also a possibility. So Alien is looking fine. And now we check Sunset Shimmer. I'm seeing nothing weird. And if we would, why? And I do a 3mm slice. How long would it take? Slicing, slicing, slicing. Oh, slicing is so slow. It looks fine. I can close these down so I can move the files who I accidentally put in the wrong folder. Why doesn't it even have a wrong folder? Still slicing. Oh, it doesn't like me multitasking. We have to wait for the slicing to end. Unless the program crashes, which is also a possibility. Oh, well, it is slicing. It is moving forward. Very slowly, but... Almost done with slicing. So slow. I should check which file I have. And as always, if there... Oh, 3 hours. If there's ever anything with my files, do let me know. Okay, so it takes about 3 hours to print Sunset Shimmer. I have no idea how to pose her on the coin, by the way. She's technically meant like this. Or actually like this, but I don't think you can... Well, you might, because resin is quite sturdy and balancing, but I think if you want to paste it on a coin, you'd better do it like this. And maybe I'll turn Sunset Shimmer into a magnet. She doesn't have to be a standee. So, yeah, that's it for today. I'm going to create a speed file of this video so I can upload the video itself, the stream, and I can upload the what's it called again? The speed stream. Just sped up, nothing else. So first day might not be a stream because still moving. Sunday, hopefully a stream. Might be a part art, part cleanup stream because of course there's a lot of stuff in my space again. But we're getting there, we're getting there. Also, the deadline is looming close as well, so I still feel anxious when thinking about that, but we'll be getting there. So, I'll be seeing you Bye bye.